Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's December 11th, and right now we're looking at the infrared/visible satellite imagery. You can see the sun rising across the lower 48 out over the Pacific Ocean. Here's our next storm system out here. We'll be moving towards the Pacific Northwest, but it will be weakening as it does so. However, we will have some gusty east winds in advance of that system. We'll look at those details, and we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. This is the high resolution model. Let's start from this morning, and as we put this into motion, you can see these residual snow showers across Idaho, some of eastern Oregon and western Montana as we go through the day today before that eventually slides off to the south and east. Now watch our next system though. Here it comes. As we go through Wednesday morning, it's going to impact western BC, Vancouver Island, and eventually move towards the Washington, Oregon coastline as we go through Wednesday afternoon and evening on into Thursday morning. They're not an exceptionally strong front, but it's going to bring another round of precip for many areas. And this is that mountain snow continuing about 4,000 feet. This is a National Weather Service Missoula, Montana, Idaho, Montana. Expect that snow continuing on in through the day today. Now looking at the GFS hot off the presses, here goes our next storm system out here. You can see the front is weakening as it approaches the Pacific Northwest. Better precipitation amounts across western BC, Vancouver Island, weakening as it slides across the Washington, Oregon coast here and kicking through as we go through the day Thursday. Then the storm forms off the California coastline here. It brings some precipitation into western BC as well. And then eventually as this fills and moves north, we might get another round as we go through the early portion of next week as another storm system drops off the coast of California here. But if we look off into the extended, you can see we do have some rounds of precipitation starting to pick back up again here as we go through the end of December, but we're looking 300 plus hours out at this time frame here. Kind of a deep low. Look at that 956 millibar thing out there spinning off the Pacific Northwest, but take that with a grain of salt. That's way off into the future, purely fantasy right now. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, check it out. Maybe a couple tenths of an inch. Some of the ensembles are showing more with this next system coming in here to get a little bit of light rain here across the area this morning also. And total precipitation in the European, this is yesterday, or actually last night's run. You can see that precipitation ongoing currently, and then we bring the next system towards the coastline. Definitely better amounts across western BC, Haida Gwaii, north tip of Vancouver Island, and not showing too much for Seattle and Portland with this, but better amounts across some of the coastal areas as well. And then that storm sets up shop off the coast of California there, and that may bring another round as we go through the early portion of next week. We'll see how that develops. Now, looking at the winds, this is 80-meter wind speed on the NAM3 cam, Washington State. Here's Oregon. If we put this into motion, you'll see some of these gusty easterly winds develop as we go through tonight. Check it out. Down towards the gorge could be getting a little bit breezy here as well. Stampede Gap also. And as we go through the day Tuesday, it actually picks up. And by the time we get towards Tuesday afternoon and evening, look at some of these winds ripping through the Cascades here. Some gusts up towards 50, maybe 55, 60 miles per hour for some local areas here. But you can see that pretty strong cross flow from the east across the Cascades of Washington, goes all the way up to the coastline here as well in advance of this next system. And then you can see the frontal system at the very end of the NAM3 cam kind of moving towards the Washington coastline there. This is Snoqualmie Pass, so you can imagine here some of that low-level easterly wind there bringing some of that cooler air as we go on in through, what is this, Tuesday afternoon on in through the day Wednesday. It's kind of an interesting feature that happens across Snoqualmie Pass. So lower pass likes to bring some of that cold air in there as we get some of this easterly component. Now looking at Portland here, so this is accumulated max 10-meter wind gusts, and if you guys live down there, you know about the gorge and the strong east winds. This is a sea level gap from eastern Washington and Oregon. So put this into motion, and you can see these winds as we go through today starting to pick up, especially as we go through tomorrow. And by tomorrow afternoon, you can see some gusts up towards 50, maybe over 50 miles per hour across some areas. Even towards the Portland metro there, we're showing some gusts up over 40 miles per hour and getting some pretty gusty winds across the higher terrain all the way up towards the coastline there as well. Now looking at western Washington, you'll see the Stampede Gap in action here. You can see it as we go through tonight, and then it picks up tomorrow, and even some wind gusts up over 50 miles per hour could be possible here across some, North Bend areas, maybe Enumclaw out there as well, Black Diamond, pretty there's east wind areas. There's also another gap, not quite as efficient here as moving those east winds as the Stampede Gap is, but that's up towards Stevens Pass there. But yeah, that east wind will be going Now, looking at the European as of last night, let's see what it has to say. And you can see that front is weakening by the time it approaches the Pacific Northwest. I believe I showed the GFS just a little bit ago, but then you can see that storm off the coast of California there as well, potentially bringing another round for us maybe early next week. We'll see how that trends. Now, looking at total snow ratio, 10 to 1 inches here as we go on in with this next system, you can see maybe a couple inches across the Cascades. Better amounts, though, across western BC here. Whistler definitely getting better amounts, maybe Vancouver Island. Also, a little bit of snow for the Olympics there also, but not a big snowmaker incoming here for Washington or Oregon. Now, looking at the landslide issues here, the good thing is we don't have a huge rainmaker coming in because we are primed for landslide potential right now, but we don't have any big precipitation incoming here. But still, something we have to watch as we go on into the later portion of December if we start to get active again. Now, looking at the GFS on the left versus itself on the right, this is the one hot off the presses. In fact, let me update this because I believe I didn't have all the information there, and I'm going to back that one up. And we'll go ahead and do that. And now we've got the GFS comparing it versus an earlier run. So this is at 39,000 feet up in the atmosphere. There goes our system that rolls through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. There's a storm system off the coast of California that may fill and bring us another shot of precip early next week. But the big story is this jet extension that's been showing up in the models every single day. As you can see, the start to rip across the Pacific Ocean here. And this could bring some storm activity back into the West Coast here. But right now, we don't know who this is going to target. There could be a strong subtropical jet stream, could favor California here, but it does not look good for snowfall here going through December. With a strong jet stream would bring above average temperatures most likely as we go through the end of December here. But yeah, the subtropical jet, or the jet extension, I should say, not subtropical, this moving across Pacific Ocean has been showing up pretty steadfast in all the model runs. And this is looking at the GFS ensemble mean last night. So we put this into motion. I'll show you what I mean. You can see the storm system setting off the coastline of California here. And that tries to come up and fill. And then we bring another one off the coast of California. And we're not looking too active until maybe the end of December here. So that's kind of what we're watching off into the future there. But right now, we still have that frontal system incoming, some east winds, and things can change rapidly this time of year. And we'll continue to watch that extended forecast to see how things unfold. Here's the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, but I had to show this. Look at the entire lower 48, except maybe Florida here, likely above average as we go through Christmas Eve. And this is the 8 to 14-day precipitation. So they do have that hint of above average here for the Pacific Northwest. So that's a chance to bring some storms back into the region here. But again, we'll watch it. California kind of favored there as well. Anyway, we'll watch this storm system coming up in here. And again, if you're in the favored east wind gusty areas along the gorge towards Portland, Stampede Gap, Enumclaw, North Bend out there, watch out for those gusty winds as we go through tomorrow night. Then we'll bring that system in here and we'll continue to watch the extended forecast as always. But anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow and I'll talk to you guys then.